I told T.I. he should have kicked that boy when last year. If T.I. would have kicked that boy last year, that boy wouldn't have had to jack him up today.
Charleston White just set the internet on fire after calling out King Harris for stepping at 50 Cent, and the twist caught a lot of people off guard. Instead of backing the younger voice in the drama, White came out swinging on 50's side, putting King Harris directly in the spotlight and on the receiving end of the criticism. In this video, we're breaking down everything Charleston White said about King Harris and what it could mean for the rising rapper as this messy situation heats up again. At the center of the whole drama is one simple question that has people arguing all over social media. What really happens when someone's son jumps into a rap feud that's been simmering for almost 2 decades, especially when the argument pulls in family and the memory of someone who is no longer here while defending his mother? This latest chapter kicked off around February 20, 2026, but the tension behind it goes way back. In hip-hop, old beef rarely disappears. It just sits there waiting for the right moment to explode again.
A delinquent, criminal-minded boy, then you are up and you're failing as a father, tipster.
The roots of this situation trace back to the long-running tension between 50 Cent and T.I., a rivalry that started heating up all the way back in 2007. During a Hot 97 interview that year, 50 Cent threw a bold question into the air about rappers calling themselves the king of hip-hop. Everybody listening understood the message loud and clear because T.I. had already crowned himself the king of the South after dropping his 2006 album, King. While sitting down with Angie Martinez, 50 even asked, who decides that, the fans or the rapper? And that comment clearly struck a nerve with T.I. Things got even more intense later that same year when 50 Cent showed up at T.I.'s Screamfest stage with Jay-Z and Kanye West in the building, turning the quiet tension into something everybody could see. By that point, the rivalry had a face and a name, and the hip-hop world was watching closely. Then in 2008, T.I.'s federal gun case ended with a 1-year sentence, even though he had been facing the possibility of decades behind bars. Around that same time, 50 Cent didn't stay silent either, jumping onto G-Unit tracks and keeping the conversation alive as the rivalry kept simmering. Then the tension really started heating up when 50 Cent fired off some sharp bars that had people talking everywhere. In one line, he rapped, "You so tough," rapping about the math not adding up, 10 machine guns, 12 months. Those lyrics hit the streets hard because they sounded like the same rumors people had already been whispering behind the scenes about T.I.
I'm on the set of 50 couldn't activate. 50 Cent tried to say don't nobody activate T.I. like I do.
50 never really let that moment slide, and the conversation kept circling back to it. Then things got even more complicated in September 2010 when T.I. and Tiny were both hit with drug charges connected to a substance that reportedly resembled ecstasy. Because of the situation, T.I. ended up serving 11 months after violating his parole, and the headlines were everywhere. While all that was unfolding, 50 Cent jumped online and stirred the pot again by questioning why Tiny didn't take the blame in the case. That comment instantly sparked debate across the hip-hop world and pushed the rivalry back into the spotlight. T.I. finally addressed the whole situation during a 2011 interview with Vibe, and he made his position crystal clear. He shut the rumors down and said nobody in his family would ever be pressured to take a charge for someone else, and anyone suggesting that was acting like a coward. Not long after that, the tension cooled down when the two artists connected through a phone call in late 2011 that mutual friends helped arrange. According to 50 Cent, neither of them actually asked for the call, it just happened through people they both respected in the industry. For years after that, things stayed quiet and the drama faded into the background, but the truth is the rivalry never really disappeared, it just stayed dormant waiting for the right moment.
King is behaving and going on with these kind of actions and inactions and traits and characteristics.
Then in July 2020, on 50's 45th birthday, T.I. suddenly challenged him to a versus battle, telling him to pull up with 20 records and see what happens. 50 just laughed it off and kept it moving. The tension kept bubbling when 50 Cent jumped online with another slick post that had people raising their eyebrows. He shared a message about someone passing and joked that Tip must have been smoking the same stuff Smokey had in Friday. That jab lit the fuse again, but T.I. did not stay quiet about it. Tip pushed back and went straight to Hot 97, sitting down with Ebro to speak his mind. During the interview, he made it clear he believed both of them had massive catalogs and could easily go head-to-head in a versus battle. He even joked that there was a 900-pound gorilla inside him ready for the challenge, showing he was fully confident about stepping in the ring. By September 2020, T.I. was still demanding a date for the showdown and kept calling 50 out publicly. At one point, he even joked about 50 looking like a young baboon face, while 50 clapped back online by roasting T.I.'s beard and asking where his Trap Museum exhibit disappeared to. Behind the scenes, they actually talked about making the versus battle happen while they were both moving around Los Angeles doing shows. But even with those conversations happening privately, nothing ever came together, and the event never got locked in. In 2021, 50 explained during an interview with The Morning Hustle that once people started going outside again, the whole versus format just did not hit the same. Still, T.I. kept the pressure on and even called him out at the BMF premiere afterparty in September 2021, telling the crowd to push 50 into the battle. 50 stood there smiling at the moment and never really responded, letting the crowd react while he stayed calm. Then everything resurfaced again in February 2026 when T.I. appeared on the Nightcap podcast and brought the versus challenge back to life, claiming 50 was avoiding the smoke.
Damn it, I told T.I. he should have kicked that boy last year. If T.I. would have kicked that boy last year, that boy wouldn't have had to jack him up today.
Tip explained that he originally wanted to battle Gucci Mane, but later switched the challenge to 50 instead. Not long after that interview dropped, 50 fired back the very next day by posting old Crime Stoppers footage online, instantly dragging the conversation right back into the spotlight. The situation exploded again when 50 Cent posted a clip tied to T.I.'s 2008 testimony connected to the Philip Johnson murder case. Along with the footage, 50 added a caption warning Tip to keep his name out of the conversation and even tagged him with the nickname King Rat. That post immediately sent social media into a frenzy and pulled their long-running feud right back into the spotlight. A few days later, on February 12th, things got even more heated. After 50 left another King Rat comment under a video featuring T.I. and Kevin Hart, Tip came back firing with a strong response. He claimed he had paperwork on 50, called him soft, and said he had completely lost respect for him. Then on February 22nd, T.I. sat down on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast and laid everything out in detail. According to Tip, the two of them had already agreed to do a versus battle while performing shows together in Los Angeles, but he claimed 50 eventually backed out of the deal. T.I. said that move made him question 50's character completely. That same day, 50 responded in his own way by posting an unflattering photo of Tiny Harris on Instagram while telling T.I. to stop mentioning his name. The post quickly caught attention, and the comments section turned into another battleground. T.I. jumped into the comments and fired back, saying it didn't matter what picture 50 posted, because in his view, 50 was still beneath him. Then the situation took another turn when King Harris, the adult son of T.I. and Tiny, stepped into the drama online. Around 21 years old, King went on Instagram defending his mother and launched an emotional rant aimed at 50 Cent. During the post, he also mentioned 50's mother, Sabrina Jackson, who passed away in 1983 when 50 was just 8 years old, which made the whole situation even more intense.
That boy showing out at the Falcon game, embarrassing the family. This is that King, little.
King Harris pushed things further with a series of shocking posts aimed straight at 50 Cent. In one message, he told 50 to go dig up his mother and even shared an image of a tombstone while writing, "This is where your mama at." Then he followed that by praising his own mother, calling her a legend, and demanding that 50 show some respect. He also challenged him to post a picture of his own mom, then added another line reminding everyone that she had already passed away. The moment instantly grabbed attention across social media because 50 has spoken many times about the pain of losing his mother, Sabrina Jackson, when he was just a child. Her death, which has been widely reported as connected to a drug overdose, has long been one of the most talked about personal tragedies in hip-hop history. Over the years, 50 has explained in interviews that the experience shaped the way he sees the world and how he moves in the industry. But now the situation had taken a new turn, with a 21-year-old stepping into the middle of a long-running rap feud and turning that painful history into an Instagram moment. That same night and into the next day, T.I. released a track called War that sounded like... In the song, he compared himself to a hibernating bear that should not have been poked and a sleeping giant that never should have been woken up. He kept the pressure on by following up with another track titled The Right One, where he questioned 50's legacy and asked why 50 never had that same energy for certain opponents, but always seemed ready to challenge people from his own circle. After that came another record called Lessons, complete with artwork showing a skeletal version of 50 Cent inspired by his role in All Things Fall Apart. As the music dropped, the situation kept growing, and even T.I.'s son Damani stepped into the conversation alongside his father.
Best rapping in it. Tell T.I. I got it the best diss song he can have right now. Boy, can't find no better diss song.
The back and forth kept getting louder when another track called Miss Jackson surfaced, flipping the classic Outkast sample while showing burning house artwork. The song played out like a long, open letter, almost like a public family statement aimed straight at the situation. And the drama did not stop there. King Harris doubled down by dropping a video titled Say Less. In the clip, he wore a shirt printed with the face of 50 Cent's late mother while lighting a blunt and pointing directly at the image during his verse. At one moment, he even rapped lines referencing mothers resting in the grave, which immediately sparked heated reactions all over social media. The moment caught the attention of major names, too. Rick Ross jumped into the comment section showing support and joking that he wanted one of King's shirts for himself. For many people watching the drama unfold, that public cosign felt like another heavyweight stepping into the ring after years of tension with 50 Cent. But 50 chose a completely different strategy. Instead of responding with music, he turned the whole situation into internet comedy. He compared King Harris to Pepe the Frog and started posting memes to make the rant look silly instead of dangerous. He even shared an old childhood photo of King with the caption, "God don't like ugly," turning the moment into another viral jab. When Tina Knowles later reposted the photo involving Tiny and showed love, 50 fired back again by posting a picture of Tina along with a Solange elevator gif, joking that the situation was starting to get weird.
You was born into a situation and circumstances and an environment that most kids dream about, mother. You wasn't born into some horrible conditions.
By that point, the drama had pulled in kids, parents, and even grandparents into the conversation. Then suddenly, 50 wiped the beef posts from his page and wrote, "I'm outta here, you guys hurt my feelings." Before disappearing, he handed T.I. what he called the Stupid Award and went silent online. And right in the middle of all that chaos, Charleston White stepped in and changed the entire conversation. In late February 2026, Charleston White jumped right into the middle of the chaos with a series of live streams and social media posts where he gave his blunt opinion about King Harris's rant, and White did not soften his words at all. His main message was direct and loud. According to White, T.I. should have taught his son to stay out of grown people's business instead of jumping into a feud between two veteran artists. He described King's actions as a young guy stepping into a fight that had been brewing between two major figures in hip-hop for nearly 20 years. But White did not stop just talking about it. In one of his posts, he shared a photo connected to T.I.'s late sister while making a point about the situation. His argument was built around the same mama for mama energy that King had started when he brought up 50's late mother online. White's logic was simple but controversial. He said if someone is willing to bring a deceased family member into a public argument, then they should expect the same kind of response back. In his view, once that line is crossed, nobody's family is completely off limits in the conversation. He also called out what he believed was a clear double standard online. According to White, many people were cheering King Harris for disrespecting a woman who had passed away, but those same voices were criticizing him when he responded with similar energy. Throughout his comments, he tried to present himself as someone speaking honestly rather than chasing internet attention. He also argued that if T.I. was truly guiding his son closely, then King's actions reflected a bigger issue about responsibility and parenting in the public eye. Charleston White didn't just comment on the situation, he claimed he understood exactly how the whole thing was playing out. According to him, 50 Cent had already tried to provoke T.I. many times over the years, but never fully got the reaction he was looking for. White argued that he might be the one person bold enough, loud enough, and reckless enough to actually get under the Harris family's skin and make them respond. And judging by how quickly his clips started spreading online, he may have had a point. The posts pulled in huge reactions, with people debating his comments all over social media and arguing about whether he crossed the line or simply said what others were thinking. So, the big questions started popping up everywhere. Who exactly is Charleston White, and why does his voice suddenly carry so much weight in a situation like this? White is a 48-year-old comedian, motivational speaker, and social media personality from Fort Worth, Texas. His story is complicated and full of moments that shaped the way he speaks today. When he was just 7 years old, White lost his right eye in a serious accident, a childhood trauma that affected how he experienced the world from a very young age. Later, when he was around 14, he became involved in a robbery at a Foot Locker in Arlington, Texas, that tragically turned deadly when someone he was with shot and killed a store clerk. White later testified against the shooter and ended up serving time in juvenile detention facilities connected to the case. After those difficult years, he eventually turned his life in a completely different direction. He later earned a criminal justice degree from Texas Wesleyan University and went on to co-found HYPE, a nonprofit organization focused on mentoring at-risk youth and helping guide them away from the same path that nearly pulled him under when he was young. The whole situation shows just how fast old rap rivalries can explode again once new voices jump into the mix. What started as long-running tension between 50 Cent and T.I. suddenly turned into a full internet firestorm once Ping Harris stepped in and Charleston White decided to throw his own explosive opinions into the conversation. From old interviews and diss records to Instagram posts and viral memes, every move added another layer to a feud that refuses to stay buried. Now the big question is what happens next? Will 50 respond again? Will T.I. fire back with more music? Or will this whole situation cool off before it gets even louder? In hip-hop, things can flip overnight, and this story clearly isn't finished yet. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and share this video with someone who follows hip-hop drama. And drop a comment below letting us know what you think about the whole situation.